Hello, here is chapter 12 from Listen, Photographs. Charlie takes the book to her room and drops it on her bed. Then she stands, listening to the rain, aware of the emptiness around her, thinking about going back to her chair in the lake room, finding a funny movie to watch on television, a movie that will take her away from Eagle Lake, make her laugh. But she doesn't go. The book, its doubled image of tree in autumn, holds her like a magnet. Colleen Morgan, award-winning nature photographer. Where is she now? How can it be that her mother just isn't anymore? Finally, she settles onto the bed, fluffs her pillow behind her, switches on her reading light, and begins to turn the pages slowly, looking at the photographs, reading the quotations. Colleen Morgan might be gone, but her work, the last work she finished, is here. As often as Charlie went into the woods with her mother while she was working, the pictures she took there were always a surprise. It was as though the camera saw a different world than Charlie did. Small things got bigger, or the big things got smaller. Edges blurred in the mist, colors sharpened in the slant of late afternoon sun, shadows deepened, the sun sparked individual diamonds and streaks of brilliant light on the surface of the water where there had only been a ripple and a glitter. The stillness of the picture caught a moment that would have been different for Charlie even if she had been sitting exactly where the camera was at exactly the same moment, looking at exactly the same thing. For her, the bird would have moved its head, the leaf would have shifted in the wind, the spider would have walked along the strand of its web. She never understood how her mother could know what the camera would hold in place, how she even saw the image she wanted to catch. One of the photos in the book showed a cedar waxwing on a bare winter branch, leaning to place a dogwood berry into the beak of another cedar waxwing. How had she caught that moment? How had she even known to have her camera ready? It is a question Charlie never thought to ask when her mother was there. She was too young to wonder then, too young to care about the work her mother did. She had expected her mother to be there in her world, in her life, as long as she needed her. Now, this minute, Charlie wants more than anything to ask her mother this question. How did she do what she did? That isn't all she wants to know. She wants to know why. Why photography? Why nature? And why did she change her mind and go off to take pictures of the rainforest? Charlie looks at the copyright date of the book. It came out after her mother was gone. This is the book Colleen Morgan was talking about, working on, finding quotations and choosing photos for, just before she left for Brazil. She never saw the finished book. Would she have been satisfied with it? Would she have liked it? Charlie wonders which she chose first, the photos or the words. On the page across from the cedar waxwings, Charlie reads, "Love cannot be forced, love cannot be coaxed and teased. It comes out of heaven, unasked and unsought." From Pearl Buck. She turns the page. The next photo was taken in the Morgan's yard, easy to recognize because theirs is one of only 3 houses on the lake that has a lawn. Everyone else there just has woods, shrubs, with a garden here or there in whatever sunlight can be had among the trees. The photo is a tight close-up, the blades of grass huge, like a dense green forest, bright above, shadowy at the base. A ladybug on one blade, shiny in the sunlight, is the size of a dime. Across from that page are the words, "Every blade of grass has its angel that bends over it and whispers, 'Grow, grow,'" the Talmud. There are no angels, only grass and ladybug. I'm in a path. Charlie remembers her mother mowing the grass. The images are hazy, raggedy blue jeans, green-stained sneakers, no face. Like the way, sometimes in a dream, she knows who someone is but can't quite see them. Colleen Morgan hated having the whole yard full of grass that needed cutting. Hated cutting it, but it was a job she never let her husband do. She would pull the cord to start the mower and then shout for all the living things hiding in the grass to get out of the way. She would move very slowly, stopping if she saw a cricket or a katydid that wasn't moving out of the way fast enough. "Head for the short grass," she'd yell. "I won't be coming back over what I've already cut." She's saving all the little bugs. If she saw a toad in front of her, she would stop the mower altogether and move the toad out of the way, dropping it among the azalea bushes or in the flower garden at the front of the house. I do that too. Charlie remembers a summer when her mother found a yellow jacket nest in the grass by the willow tree she had planted as a part of her campaign to replace lawn with trees. Mr. Sutcliffe was always being stung by the yellow jackets in his yard. "The first one that stings you puts a smell on you," he told Charlie once, "and the rest come after you then." Yellow jackets are like wasps. "Get stung one time, you'll get stung 50 times. Charlie and her mother saw him one day when they were out in the canoe, running from his mower, waving his arms around his head. He dashed into his house, yelling and flailing, and slammed the door. For days afterwards, his mower sat abandoned as the grass grew taller around it. "If you get yellow jackets, you have to go out into the middle of the night and pour gasoline or boiling water down their hole," he told them. But her mother didn't do that. The first day she found the nest, she stood near it as the yellow jackets came and went, talking to them. "I've got to mow now," she told them, "but I don't want to hurt you. You can just keep coming and going until I tell you that the next pass will go over the nest. Then you have to either go down inside or stay out until I've passed. It'll just take a minute or two, and then you can go back to business as usual." Her father teased her about it all summer. My wife, the wasp whisperer. But Colleen Morgan never got stung a single time. Charlie asked her why she didn't tell Mr. Sutcliffe that he didn't have to use gasoline, but she said it was better not to challenge people's fixed beliefs. The next year, the wasps didn't nest in the Morgans' yard. Her father does the mowing now, and he just mows, not worrying about what might be in his way, but they've never had yellow jackets again. Mr. Sutcliffe still gets stung every summer. Charlie touches the photo, feeling the slick surface under her fingers, as if by touching this page she could touch her mother as she lay in the grass, focusing her lens on the ladybug walking a green blade. She flips through the pages then, skimming, not really looking, not reading, till a photo stops her. It's a beaver, crouched in the water at the edge of the lake among some sort of leafy plants. Its wet fur slicked back, silver water drops scattered along its back. It holds a piece of green plant in its front paws, its eyes staring straight off into the distance as if it had stopped eating to consider something. It's not a picture her mother could have taken when Charlie was with her. As hard as she tried, she was never quiet enough for that. If a beaver heard the slightest sound, a twig breaking, a sigh or a cough or a sniffle, it would be gone with a resounding crack-a-tail against the water to warn the other beavers. Charlie doesn't know how her mother stayed quiet enough. She never made a blind for herself, never hid from the animals she photographed. She just sat still and waited. To understand any living thing, the quotation on the facing page says, you must creep within and feel the beating of its heart. W. McNeill Dixon. Creep within and feel the beating of its heart. Yes, that's what Charlie wants to do with Coyote. The rain is still drumming on the roof, and she thinks of Coyote huddled under the Davises' picnic table, taking whatever shelter he can from the rain. The Davises are probably home by now. Probably have Sadie inside where she can be drying off. There's nowhere for Coyote to get dry. What is he feeling? What's he thinking? Do dogs think? She closes the book. Creep within and feel the beating of its heart. Impossible. She can't even feel her own right now. And that is the end of chapter 12. Hi, Xana.